When the ice of the last glacial era receded, the changing climate had a drastic influence on the environment. The melting water formed rivers and the number of freshwater fish increased. It also influenced the kind of food the Jomon people ate. The natural environment of the Japanese archipelago differed in the eastern and western parts. Salmon and trout were an important resource in the eastern and northern parts of Japan, while ayu or sweetfish was an important aquatic resource in the west and south. The Yatsugatake area, as an inland area of Japan, was poor in aquatic resources. To compensate, the Jomon people living in this area used wild beans as an important protein resource. As most of the Japanese archipelago is located in the mid-latitude temperate zone, the distribution of natural resources widely varied seasonally. The mid-latitude zone is the zone between the Arctic Circle and the Tropic of Cancer. The Jomon people had to develop strategies to stabilize their foodstuff availability. Acorns and nuts were major food resources for the post-glacial Jomon people. They had to gather them in autumn and store them till the next year autumn. Inconveniently, the acorns and chestnut harvests fluctuated annually. For instance, the Japanese chestnut tree, Castanea crenata, bears fruit every second year and sometimes every third year. It was therefore crucial for the Jomon people to gather and store 3 times the amount they needed for a single year. Acorns are produced by most oak tree species. They are a very rich food resource. Because acorns contain tannins, a bitter and potentially poisonous ingredient, the Jomon people had to develop techniques to remove these tannins. To do this, acorns had to be bleached in water for a few days. The Jomon people realized that cooking the acorns sped up the bleaching process. This knowledge may have had an important impact on the development of the Jomon potteries. To survive these challenging conditions, the Jomon people had to adapt to the local environment and its available resources. The increasingly favorable climate and abundance of foodstuff during the beginning and middle Jomon period resulted in the development of a gradually sedentary way of living. This meant that they had not only to improve on storage, but also develop more sophisticated tools like this grinding stone. It is likely that the Jomon people also ate a variety of wild berries and fruits. Some of the more common fruits we can find nowadays are yamabudo, akebi, yamaboshi, yamanashi, sarunashi, and raspberries. As we have seen earlier, large game consisted of sika deer, boar, and bear. A diversity of birds like pheasant and duck have probably been an important part of their diet as well. Tatsuo Kobayashi created a seasonal calendar. Although the content and seasonal activities of the Jomon people most likely depended on the area where they were living in, we see that hunting large game was mainly done in winter. Nuts and vegetables were mainly collected during the summer and autumn months. This table shows the ratio of remains that were found at excavation sites and the estimated food value these sources had. It also indicates that although shells of shellfish remained the longest, shellfish made up only a small part of the total diet. Umenoki was a long-term settlement in the Yatsugatake area. It is thought that 2 or more neighboring settlements may have shared the same foraging areas. The orange zone on this map indicates a zone with mainly chestnut trees. The green zone, walnut. Oak trees were abundant in the whole area.